Hear ye, hear ye. Court is now in session. Bailiff, please bring me the first case.
I'm playing an Aladdin elf named Trash Panda who's got a defective bag of holding. Whatever I pull out comes out of someone else's bag of holding, and whatever goes in has a 10% chance of going to the astral plane, otherwise it goes into someone else's bag. My husband, our DM, allowed me to pull from the bag 4 times a day. The next time we played he said I can only pull twice a day from it, saying it takes too long. Our friends think it's hilarious to see what gets pulled, and I haven't heard them complain at all. I asked we could compromise and I could pull 3 times, but he won't budge. Is it fair that I can only pull from my defective bag of holding twice a day? I eagerly await your decision.
I think it depends on what you're able to pull out of the bag. If you are able to pull out like up to legendary items, even 2 is generous. Like 1 would be fine. If it's like uncommon and below, I think the middle arrangement of 3 is perfectly fine. If it's common and below, 4 perfectly fine. I don't think that's absorbing too much time anyway, because you can just roll. There are numerous generators that just generate random like mundane items or whatever. So all it takes is like a button push or finding the right website, which is prep outside of the game. When you're in the game, your husband shouldn't be complaining too much about like time management or anything. Your friends seem to love what's going on and you all find it hilarious. I understand putting a cap in the first place so that, every session isn't just pulling out of the bag of mystery to find out, and that's what the session devolves into. But I think punishing you retroactively isn't fair. Once again, it depends on the limitation of things being pulled out, but I'm going to assume that your DM isn't insane and that it's limited to at least uncommon and below. So 3, meeting in the middle with 3 is perfectly fine in my opinion, especially since you have a chance of losing your stuff when you put stuff inside of it. So I find your DM husband guilty, and the punishment obviously will be that you are to place the DM in the bag of holding and see if they end up in the astral plane, and also divorce. Okay, bailiff, please bring in the next plaintiff and case.
I'm a DM running a homebrew world. My world is set in a late Iron Age 1000 years after the fall of an advanced society, the tech of which no one remembers or knows of, and elves came to this world 3 years ago. I had only a few rules for character creation: no Eberron content, no Tinker Gnomes, no half-elves. The party started as 4 players. One wanted to be a changeling but wasn't married to the idea, so I said no and she made a tiefling. Easy peasy. Well, a 5th player wanted to join, and in reading my homebrew notes he really wanted to make a warforged as a remnant of this ancient civilization. He essentially sold me on the idea of him being a robot. I said sure, but he can't make more robots. Done. Well, a 6th player wants to join, she's never played before, and she jumped the gun and made a changeling she's really excited to play. She's not interested in being anything else. I know I opened the sluice gates when I let the damn robot in, so I couldn't say no to her request, especially because it's her first game and her backstory is almost as long as my setting 1 note. Now I feel terrible because I denied the 1st player's request to be a changeling. Should I have stuck to my guns and said no Eberron content? Period. I'm anxious and feel guilty.
First, 6 players is way too many in my opinion, but that's a different discussion. I think the 5th player coming in as a Warforged could have been a good thing, considering, depending on how far the lore had gone in that time, it could have actually been complementary to your story. So that's fine. I don't like that you let them do it without then changing the rules for everyone else at the table as well. But I think that's fine and forgivable. The 6th player, I believe, shouldn't have been allowed to play a changeling. They provided you with an ultimatum, basically, of let me play changeling or I won't play. And I think at that point, based on your rules, they just shouldn't have played. So I think feeling guilty for yourself is appropriate because you went against your own word, um, basically telling the first player that it wasn't cool, and now this brand new player gets to do it. I don't think that's fair to the first player at all. But again, I don't think the sixth player should have been allowed to play with that ultimatum in mind. So I think in either case, you, as the DM, are found guilty, considering the fact that you could have either prevented the sixth player from playing at all or forcing them to change race, or you could have gone back after the fifth player, changed the rules, allowing the sixth player to arrive and it not even be an issue, because now all the other players know that if their character died for whatever reason, they now would be allowed to make those new races without issues. So I find you guilty, and I will force you to find a campaign in which you want to play a specific race and are not allowed to, and in fact are forced to play a race and class combination that you don't even want to. Okay, Bailiff, bring in our final plaintiff of the day.
During my first time being a DM, I wrote a story when my group of players were taking out a kobold encampment. I made a Goliath warrior to kill off and set the scene for when the kobold's pet troll came out. Belrash, my Goliath, was thrown. My PC, who was a 4-tall tiefling, tried to catch him. She rolled a nat 20 and I told her that she definitely caught him, but it was like getting hit being a freight train, and she took 1d6 damaged and was pinned by the weight. Should I have made that nat 20 successful with what she wanted?
This case makes me wonder what you would have done if they had succeeded but didn't roll a nat 20, because your success of a nat 20 seems unfathomably cruel. You had them catch them, be knocked prone, and take a d6. That's kind of crazy to me for a nat 20, and kind of crazy to me for a success even. I think if they were just to succeed, I might give them the option of either prone or a d6. And then with a nat 20, I feel like neither should have been the case. It was just the most miraculous catch of a lifetime. So, yeah, I think you're a really cruel DM, and I'm going to punish you to being crushed by both a Goliath warrior and a 4-foot tiefling.
Did I do that?
Guilty, 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 guilty!
That is not